Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing yet another one of my 5 best and 5 worst. If you're unfamiliar with this series, basically what I do is I very simply talk about my 5 favorite as well as my 5 least favorite products from a particular category. So for example, like foundation, concealer, blush, etc., etc. But today we're gonna be switching it up a bit. Today's video marks the beginning of a new segment in the 5 best and 5 worst series, and this is going to be the brand 5 best and 5 worst. So basically I'm just gonna be talking about my 5 favorite and my 5 least favorite products from a particular brand. Today we are gonna be talking about Anastasia. I asked you guys on Twitter what you wanted to see, and that seemed to be a pretty popular response. I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy today's video and find it helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments some of your favorite as well as some of your least favorite products from Anastasia. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, what you're loving and not so much loving. Of course, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I always like starting off on a positive note, so let's first talk about my 5 favorite products from the brand. So let's first start off with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. Now this is probably not a surprise to most of you. It is definitely a cult favorite. I feel like it also sort of broke the internet when it was released. Everybody went crazy over this thing, and it was at one point very, very difficult to find, but for very good reasons, and I will explain those reasons in depth, of course. So let's first talk about the shadow quality, because that's really the base of any eyeshadow palette. Now I just want to say generally the Anastasia eyeshadows are really, really beautiful. Their palettes, as well as probably like 99% of their eyeshadow singles, are just so spot on as far as like the texture goes. I find that they apply beautifully, they blend out with absolutely no issue. Basically all those adjectives that people use to describe beautiful eyeshadows, that is what the Anastasia eyeshadows sort of like encompass. They're sort of just top notch, and I definitely would highly recommend them. So now that you know that the eyeshadows are really great, let's actually dive into the palette itself and why I really just love all of this. So when the warm tone craze was sort of starting to beginning, and we were really seeing a lot of warm toned eyeshadows starting to be released from a bunch of different brands, I really feel like Anastasia took that trend and put their own twist on it, and the Modern Renaissance palette was the result of that, because this is definitely more of a warm tone palette, but instead of bringing out a palette that just had a variety of warm browns, I feel like they took it in a bit of a different direction, which I really do appreciate. I always love a little bit of like a different twist when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, because a lot of them tend to start to look the same, whereas I feel like with this one, this is quite unique, and there's not really much out there that compares to the eyeshadows that are in here as far as the color selection goes. Just overall, I do feel like this is a very versatile palette. You could create everything from a very simple everyday look to something pretty dramatic with this. And even though it is a little bit different with these more like pinky shades, I do feel like they are still quite wearable. Now I actually did do a tutorial using just this palette for my whole entire face, like for my blush, bronzer, contour, brows, my eyes of course, and my lips. It was my one palette tutorial, so I will link that down below if you'd like to see how to use this palette literally all over your face and just basically get the most use out of it. It's what I would recommend the most from the brand, and I know Anastasia is known best for their brows, but I really feel like their eyeshadows are just... So if you're familiar with the brand at all, then you will definitely know that Anastasia is probably best known for their brow products. That's where they started, that's where they originated. So their brow products are sort of like the core of the brand. So there's no doubt that their brow products are fantastic. And there are a few that I really want to talk about that I feel like really stand out for me. So the first one is a little bit on the boring side, but just hear me out on this. So this is the clear brow gel. Like, this is probably the most boring makeup product that you could put on your face, but I have tried so many different brow gels, from really expensive brands like Charlotte Tilbury to really inexpensive brands like NYX, but nothing really does compare to the Anastasia brow gel, because this is basically like a bulletproof coating for your brow hairs. There's nothing else that holds my brows like this does. I do like more of like a fluffy brow look, so when I brush my hairs upwards, I want them to actually stay like that throughout the whole entire day, and most of the time eyebrow gels won't really hold my brows in place, whereas this one just really does the trick, and I very rarely stray from it unless I'm trying out new products, but I always come back to the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. It's a boring product, but it's definitely one of the best. Now, this would not be an Anastasia video if I did not talk about one of their brow color products. Now, I was really thinking about this because Anastasia does have a few different types of brow products. They have the pencil, the brow wiz, the brow definer, the pomade, as well as the powder, and I've tried all of them. The one that really stands out to me the most, and the one that I feel like they really do it best, is definitely the brow pomade. Now, I find with like the other brow products like the brow wiz, the definer, the powder, and the pencil, you could could find other brow products out there that do very similar things and give very similar effects, both that are cheaper and even more expensive. They all sort of do the same. However, I do feel like the Dip Brow really does it best. There are definitely other pomades on the market, but this one is my favorite. So first of all, I really love this product because of how waterproof it is. And not only is it waterproof, but it really does stick to the skin. A lot of the times with other brow products, like with powders and pencils, don't really like actually stick to the skin. They will stick to the skin if there are brow hairs there to sort of like contain it, but if you put it on just bare skin where there aren't any brow hairs, it will smudge away fairly quickly, whereas a product like this will totally stick to bare skin. So for some reason you're missing your whole tail, you could completely draw that in using very fine hair-like strokes, and you could get a very realistic effect that will actually stay there throughout the day and will not smudge or fade. So those are the main reasons why I really like the Dip Brow. Now let me talk a little bit about how to actually apply it. If you apply too much of this stuff, it will just look way too intense. So the way that I like to apply it, I will take a synthetic brow brush, I will dip into the product, and then I'll go into the cap, wipe off all of the excess, and you see that little bit of product that's right there? That is what I will use to actually fill in my brows. I go in with very fine strokes and a very light hand so that I don't put too much pressure, so that it doesn't apply unnaturally. And when I'm done, I'm left with something that looks really natural and that will stay in place all day. So that, my friends, is why I like the Anastasia Dip Brow. So next, let's move on to the Anastasia lip glosses. Now these are definitely very pigmented lip glosses. These are not sheer wash of color glosses that will just give your lips a little bit of color and a little bit of shine. These are intense. So on my lips right now, I'm actually wearing the shade Undress, which is this beautiful nude, and that is all that I'm wearing on my lips. And as you can see, it has really nice coverage. Even the very light shades, which could sometimes be pretty unflattering, especially for really pigmented lip glosses, just look really nice and smooth. Now, even though this is a very pigmented gloss, the consistency is not like overly thick or gloopy or sticky. The consistency is actually quite, I wouldn't say thin, but it's really, really lightweight. All the shades have really nice like creamy finishes to them. This is the type of gloss that I like to wear on its own. I don't really love layering this on top of lip products just because I feel like it's not needed, because they are so incredibly pigmented, and I think they just give a really beautiful effect to the lips. They're super glossy, and those are all of my thoughts on the lip glosses. I definitely would recommend them if you like a more pigmented gloss. So the last product from the brand that I really love is actually something that's quite underrated. I feel like nobody talks about this product. So this is the Highlighting Duo Pencil. It is basically a two-sided pencil. One side has more of like a highlighting shade, and then the other side is a matte shade, and this is sort of like a yellowy, creamy color. I actually never used the highlighting side of this Duo Pencil. My love for this product really comes from the matte side right over here. So because this is sort of like a very light concealer shade, I find that it is a great color to use to highlight and carve out my brows. So if I really want my eyebrows to pop, or if I feel like I, went a little bit crazy with my brow product and I want to sort of correct it a little bit, then this product is really fantastic. And because it is matte, it sort of just like disappears into the skin. And I also love using this around my lip line if I want to like correct any wiggly lines that may be going on around my lips, if I'm doing more of a bolder lip, or if I just want my lip line to really, really pop and to look very clean, then I will go in with this little pencil. And so you may be asking yourself, well, why can't you just go in with concealer? And you can, but what I really like about this pencil is really just like the convenience factor. I use this very, very often in like my everyday routine without even thinking about it. I sort of just grab it, do what I gotta do with it, and put it back. They do come in a few different shades, but the one in Matte Shell Lace Shimmer is my favorite because the other shade I believe is a bit too pink, and I feel like this color just sort of matches my skin tone a little bit more. So that is it for all of my favorite Anastasia products. So now it's time to move on to some of my least favorite Anastasia products. I just want to say that even if a product doesn't work for me, it doesn't mean it can't work for you. I don't like absolutely despise them or hate them. I just didn't have great experiences using them. And if these are products that you love and that you use all the time, amazing. Keep using them. And like I always say, what floats my boat may not float yours, and vice versa. Always something to keep in mind. Okay, so I think the most obvious product for me when I was like making this list was the foundation stick. Now I actually did a whole review on this on my channel, and you can see my reaction in that video how much I disliked this foundation. Now, if you were not aware, I do have more of like a drier skin type, so that means I have a lot of dry patches. And this product just like accentuated all of them. It made my skin look so cakey. It made it look older. It made it just look really, really terrible. I actually really love cream foundations. Some of my all-time favorite foundations are in like cream stick formulas, but this one I feel like was a little bit too heavy for my skin type. I have heard though that people with oily skin do like this, so it could just be that this is really just not suited for dry skin and very suited for oily skin. Who knows? But that's just what I experienced. So there you go. So the next product may be a little bit surprising for some of you because I feel like this is definitely one of their cult favorites. So it is the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit. When I first got this, I actually liked it, but that is because I hadn't really tried many other cream contour products. Because it was the first one, I didn't really have any expectations and the bar wasn't like necessarily set anywhere. So when I first got this, I did actually like the product. However, since first getting this product, I have tried so many cream contour products, and I gotta say that this one just really doesn't live up to my newfound expectations. My main issue with this product is actually how it blends on the skin. I find this incredibly difficult to blend out and to look smooth, and that is really my main concern with it. I know that you can apply a little bit of oil to the product if you want it to apply a little bit smoother. I'd rather not go through the extra step when I have other contour products that glide on my skin and blend out without any issues at all, and I don't have to go in with an extra product in order to make it work. I do prefer like cream bronzers and cream contours to be a little bit more emollient, because when they are a little bit more emollient and have a bit more of like a slip to them, they just blend out into the skin like they weren't even there. That is usually, you know, what I like to go for. So this next one is gonna be a little bit surprising to some of you. Now, in my best and worst liquid lipstick video, I actually did already mention this product as one of my least favorites. So spoiler alert, it is the Anastasia liquid lipstick. So let me first say that the color collection for the Anastasia liquid lipsticks are mind-blowing, and I really wish that I love the formula because the colors that they come out with are so stunning. I just find that this is one of the more drying liquid lipstick formulas that I've tried, and I also have had so many experiences with many different colors cracking and crumbling on my lips and just looking very unflattering on my lips. I don't find that they wear super well as a formula. I don't think it's like one of the best liquid lipsticks on the market, and I know liquid lipsticks are supposed to be drying. It's sort of the nature of them, but they are like drying liquid lipsticks, and then they are drying liquid lipstick, like the products that just suck all of the life out of your lips, and that sort of does that to me, unfortunately. So the next product that I wanted to talk about, I actually don't have here with me, which sort of kills me a little bit because I really wanted to be able to actually show you guys and swatch it for you guys, and I wanted to talk about the Anastasia Ultimate Glow Kit. Now, this is not to be confused with their other glow kits, like the ones in the little square packaging. Those are gorgeous, gorgeous highlighters. I love those. Now, the Ultimate Glow Kit, I feel like was just a bit of a fail for me because it didn't compare to the other glow kits that they had previously released. It was really inconsistent in that the original glow kits that they released, the actual feeling of the powder was so creamy and smooth. Even the shades that do have shimmer to them are very flattering. They are not chunky or too in your face. The Ultimate Glow Kit was like the opposite of that. All of the powders felt really rough in texture. All of the shades had very visible, very chunky glitter in them, and I just felt like when you would apply them on the tops of your cheekbones, all you would really see were those like flecks of glitter and not really a glow. So if you're looking to get some of the Anastasia highlighters, I would definitely skip on that palette and just go for like the original glow kits. So the last product I want to talk about are the waterproof cream colors. Now, they do have a few shades. I don't know if they still sell like the brighter shades that I have over here, but they also have more neutral shades like a black, a brown. I've tried almost all of them, I feel like, especially the black one. They're basically just cream products. You could use them as like an eyeshadow base, you could use them as an eyeliner, and I find that they just don't work well as either. When you first get the product, it is very creamy. So when you apply it to your eyes, like as an eyeliner, it applies like a dream. It just glides on. The actual pigmentation, especially in the black one, is gorgeous. Like, it's very, very black. But my main issue that I have with the product is that it smudges like crazy. I find that it doesn't really like set down properly, and because of that, it just sort of goes everywhere throughout the day, especially something that is supposed to be considered waterproof. That was just a little bit confusing to me. And secondly, it did not really last a very long time. These things dry out like so quickly, and once they start to dry out, they sort of crack and they become very difficult to apply, and they're not that same like creamy texture as they are when you first buy them. And I also noticed that once they started to get a little bit older, they would start to actually crack on the eyes. Like there would literally be like little tiny cracks throughout the eyeliner. And those are the reasons why I was not quite a fan of the cream color bases. So that actually finishes off my 5 best and 5 worst of Anastasia Beverly Hills. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this and found it helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments what brand you like to see me showcase next. And of course, let me know some of your favorites and least favorites from Anastasia, because I love hearing what you guys gotta say. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy videos like these, and of course subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.